Good to be with you. This is the Anglican Cable Network Nigeria, ACNN. You're on to the news on the hour. I am Zubechi Frank. Well, welcome. Lai Mohammed, Minister of Information and Culture, has said that the People's Democratic Party, PDP, danced on the grave of MKO Abiola's grave for 16 years. In an interview with the cable, the minister said PDP did not recognize June 12 for what it was, and now that Buhari has done so, they say it is politics.
This is a government that has remained focused. Also, it's 3 years in office. And yes, we've wrong-footed some people by certain actions we've taken, because they never thought about them. For 16 years, the PDP danced on the grave of MK Abiola, failed to recognize June 12 for what it was. And when Mr. President Buhari decided to take action and recognize, posthumously MK Abiola, the naysayers went to the social media and the media to say that, it was being done for politics. Our response is very clear. Why didn't they do it for politics in their own time? Not too young to run bill was brought, Mr. President, after it had been passed by the National Assembly. So you can't come and say it was an emergency action on the part of Mr. President. And he assented to it because he believed in it. Now, I think the problem of the country is that they've so badly underrated this administration. The administration continues to surprise them every day.
The minister, who delivered the keynote address at the 2018 Africa Together conference hosted by the African Society of Cambridge University, also told the cable that the government of the day has been so underrated by the PDP, but it would continue to surprise the opposition. Lai Mohammed said the government has created millions of jobs and will keep up the pace to ensure Nigerians get to feel the post-recession impact of the President Buhari administration. The Archbishop of the province of Enugu, the Most Reverend Emmanuel Chukwuma, has joined other Nigerians in scoring the present administration of the All Progressive Party APC government. The Archbishop commended the administration in the war against corruption and some other areas where the administration has done well, but stated emphatically that what Nigeria needs is a vibrant person and a man of integrity. Archbishop Chukwuma stated these in an interview with our ACNN correspondent, Wanne Ogechukwu, in Delta State. According to the cleric, there is more killings and violence in this administration than ever before.
Future. Also, our president is sick, and I have said it that we don't need a sick president this time around. We prayed him to finish this first time. He has tried, he should go and rest. So, as far as I'm concerned, I have not seen anything so encouraging, although they have tried much this time to say they are fighting corruption, exposing corruption. But again, we must know that most of the things that are implemented now was what was planned out by Jonathan. And I think as far as I'm concerned, nobody is perfect. But the thing is that as far as I'm concerned, the present administration for these past 3 years has performed 65%. And we need a change to make Nigerians feel better. We have suffered enough. We need a Joshua that will also promise land. And as far as I'm concerned right now, my question and my problem is that even though if Buhari does not continue, who is the substitute? So I'm not interested in political parties now, whether APC or whether PDP. They've all lost their relevance. What I'm concerned now is somebody with credibility, integrity, that will give us good governance. That is what Nigerians should look for. I don't care which party you belong. So people will think probably I'm against a party or for one party. No, I'm not a party man. But we're after the man that has the integrity and mind to save Nigeria from the present predicaments of unemployment, of killings. There have been more killings in this government than before. More violence than before. A lot of money is being spent for Boko Haram and say defeat Boko Haram. And Boko Haram has not stopped.
Archbishop Chukwuma further called on the administration to revisit their program and policies. He also spoke on the disagreements between the legislative and executive.
Thanks be to God for the visit of the Mr. President to America, that America has now warned him. Now we find that there's little stop commandos in the cleans in Benue. I think that's because America is coming in now. So, but why should we continue to kill ourselves? And there's much in this government. The security is porous, and there's insincerity in our security and selective negligence in this government. They've done well in some areas, but in some areas of security, in the areas of employment, in areas of where people are hungry and inflationary and the rate of an naira, it's appalling. One is not feeling comfortable. Everybody is crying. So they should please revisit their programs and policies. There's more disagreement between the present government this time and the legislative. And that has never happened before. Delay of budgets. Budgets have been delayed than ever. Are these things what was supposed to be in a government that is supposed to be progressive? So these are the things. So one is very much disappointed that the change we were expecting is not what we see now. We need a better change. So people should be ready to change the change, and Nigeria will be better. All we have to do as Christians is to pray that God will overtake the will of man and bring out somebody who will have the heart of Joshua to lead us to promised land. And then for us to be very much prayerful that God will save this Nigeria from collapse and further predicaments.
Bishop Ezofor and another citizen of the country also spoke on the administration's performance.
You will agree with me that if Nigeria is a vehicle, there is no driver. Nobody is driving the nation. The administration is going here and there. As far as I'm concerned, there is no focus. And that's why all that are happening in the nation is happening. Things are getting from bad to worse. People are dying of hunger. People are dying of, dissatisfaction. You just hear that somebody woke up in the morning and slumped and died. Those of us who are saddled with responsibility of burying and doing funeral, it's like we're doing more burials today than any other thing. And it's because of the difficulties we are facing in the nation. So, looking at the administration is a failed administration. Right from the beginning up until now, it's a failed administration. And they're already talking about another election and all of that. I don't see anything good about this administration, and I make no apologies about that.
We say that he's doing his best because he cannot give what you don't have. I think what he's giving us his best. And to him, we actually say that he's doing the best and he's giving us the best. But we need improvement. One, in security, we need improvement. We're not actually getting the best or the world standard. Because if you go to other countries, you see that they have better security than what we do here. So that is actually, we are not actually settling to what we are saying as his best. And secondly, the economy of the country is not too good. Everybody is crying, the masses are crying and suffering. I will use the word suffering because when the majority is not finding it easy, when the majority is not finding it easy, definitely it's not easy. The economy is not good as we all expected it to be.
They also advised Nigerians who are yet to get their voters card to do so.
As far as I'm concerned, there is no focus.
The Catholic Archbishop of Sokoto Diocese, Reverend Father Matthew Kukar, has urged members of the Christian community to assume full responsibility and unite against security threats. Kukar, who was the keynote speaker at the Catholic Men's Guild Conference in Lagos, also urged Nigerians to identify the root cause of the religious crisis in the nation and take up the challenge of protecting one another. According to him, it is not so much the government's position as Christians are entering public life not dressed as Christians. He said the church must take full responsibility for the inability to recruit men and women into public life.
So much the government positions. It is that we are entering public life not dressed as Christians, not by our crosses. And therefore, the Catholic Church must take full responsibility. It must take full responsibility for our inability to recruit men and women into public life.
Others at the conference also emphasized the importance of Christians to take up the challenge of protecting one another. The security threat to the church, according to the clerics and speakers at the conference, is largely contributed by denominational and ethnic division, as well as the inability of Christians in public leadership to question systems that are inimical to the Christian faith.
If you pick up arms, all you do is just descend into a vortex. But the pen, organizing, can be much, much mightier than a sword. If your voice is heard loud enough, people will begin to say, what is going on here?
Christians across the board need to confront the issue of our ethnic bigotry that is dragging us down and is not allowing us to make progress.
The solution is not in establishing a Catholic political party when we cannot even agree in matters of episcopal appointments.
Pastor Fred Odekine of the Redeemed Christian Church of God, Court of His Majesty, had advised fathers to live responsibly and shun divorce in order to raise moral upright children. Odekine gave the advice during the Father's Day celebration with the theme Understanding Manhood, Fatherhood in his parish at Abuja, Lagos State. He said the increase in social vices among youths was as a result of fathers' absence in training the children right from infancy, as most women had become single mothers and were solely nurturing their kids. The cleric, however, urged men to live up to their responsibilities in grooming their words to avoid exposing the children to social vices. Odekine urged men to lead by example, radiate qualities worthy of emulation, and to be picked as role models by their children and others. He also urged fathers to stand up to their responsibilities even when their wives earn more than them. Benue State Governor Samuel Ortom has said that his administration has intensified collaboration with security forces through Operation Wild Stroke to prevent further attack on the people and ensure the return of displaced persons to their ancestral homes. The governor gave this assurance in Nadaka, Makurdi local government area of the state. Governor Ortom said the government was assessing the security situation in the affected communities of the state to determine when it would be safer for the internally displaced persons to return home, and also stated that 60% of the displaced persons in the various camps were children within school age. According to him, herdsmen attack had affected both farming and academic activities in a number of local government areas of the state, pointing out that in the past 6 months, children in the IDP camps have not gone to proper school, aside the emergency classes organized for them by the state government, stressing that most schools in the attack areas were burnt down by rampaging herdsmen. The governor, who also spoke on efforts made by state government in providing comfort to the IDPs, appreciated the services of non-governmental organizations, churches and individuals in supporting the state government to ensure victims of the crisis are given attention, while emphasizing that the Benue State open grazing prohibition and ranching establishment law would be repealed. Governor Ortom predicted that just as June 12 has eventually been recognized, ranching would soon be embraced nationwide. The Emir of Kano, Malam Muhammad Sanusi II, has advised Governor Abdullahi Ganduje to convene a security summit with political leaders and security agencies in the state to map out strategies to avert violence during the forthcoming 2019 general election. The Emir's call came against the backdrop of drumbeat of war by critical stakeholders in the state. Sanusi, who gave the advice while paying homage to Ganduje during the traditional Hawan Nasarawa at the government house as part of activities marking the Eid al-Fitr, also stressed the need for political leaders to address thuggery and warned that once politicians refuse to play politics according to the rule of the game, there was every tendency that many people could lose their lives as a result of their action or inaction. Admonishing Ganduje to adopt decisive measures against drug abuse, Sanusi stated how the use of drugs has impacted negatively on the youths and noted the urgent need to take drastic measures to address the menace so as to have a decent society. In response, Governor Ganduje commended the conduct. The Southern and Middle Belt Leaders Forum has raised the alarm that the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) has embarked on the registration of foreigners, especially from Niger Republic, to pave the way for electoral malpractices in 2019. The forum, which stated these in a communique made available to journalists, alleged that registration of foreigners could be one of the reasons the federal government was in a haste to construct a rail from Kano through Dambata, Kazure, Douara, Masha, Kastina, Chibra, and terminate in Maradi in the Niger Republic. The leaders from the Middle Belt, South, Southeast, and Southwest had met in Lagos and issued the communique titled "Our Case Against 2019 Elections Preparations." The communique was signed by Yinka Odumakin, Southwest, Senator Basi Henshal, South, Professor Chigozie Obu, Southeast, and Dr. Isuwa Togo, Middle Belt. The leaders, who expressed concern about the 2019 general elections, restated their demand for the suspension of the current chairman of INEC, Professor Mahoud Yakub, pending the investigation of the underage voter scandal in Kano. They restated their lack of confidence in the INEC chairman, whose conduct over the scandal of underage voters in Kano has shown a gross betrayal of public trust. More stories coming to you after this break. Please stay with us. The attention of the Primate of all Nigeria, His Grace the Most Reverend Dr. Nicholas D. Oko, has been drawn to the scam SMS, Facebook posts and WhatsApp messages making the rounds about the death of his brother in the United States of America. These imposters are also sending scam messages to a select well-meaning Nigerians soliciting for funds to bring back the body of the deceased brother to Nigeria. Please be advised that the Primate is not bereaved of any person in America and is not raising money online for whatever purpose. Kindly disregard all such unsolicited messages. It is the handwork of scammers. The relevant security agencies have been duly contacted, but their cooperation so far has left much to be desired. While we are not relenting in the fight to combat this cybercrime, please be advised not to send any money to any bogus bank account or click any link online to donate money to the Primate. Beware. Be wise, don't fall a victim. Signed, Venerable Ifeanyi Acnn, Secretary to the Primate. Thanks for joining us. For more on our top stories, please visit our website at acnntv.com or youtube.com/ACNNTV. To be up to date with our news and other programs, please download the ACNN app for Android from Google Play Store. And now to foreign news. Melania Trump, U.S. First Lady, has called on both Democrats and Republicans to join forces to stop federal authorities from separating children from their parents when apprehended at the border. In a statement issued by her office, the First Lady expressed empathy for affected families, saying the country should be governed with a heart. The U.S. First Lady says she hates to see children separated from their families and hopes both sides of the aisle can finally come together to achieve successful immigration reform. Mrs. Trump made this statement through her spokeswoman Stephanie Grisham. Nearly 2,000 children were taken away from their parents in a 6-week period ending in May under the new policy of President Donald Trump's administration. The First Lady's statement echoed the President's words on Friday, which states that he hates the children being taken away from their parents. Trump, however, blamed the Democrats, adding that the Democrats have to change their law. Following a global ecumenical day of prayer for peace in the countries of Congo and South Sudan, which was initiated by the Pope Francis on February, where he used his weekly Angelus address in St. Peter's Square to call on Catholic faithful and other denominations to set aside 23rd February, that's Ash Wednesday. The Anglican primates in Congo and South Sudan have expressed their joy and gratitude for being remembered by the Pope and the world at large. While speaking to Anglican News Service, the primate of Congo, Archbishop Mazimango Katanda, said the prayer was helpful as it was soothing enough to relieve the suffering that the country is going through. The sentiments were echoed by Archbishop Justin Bardi Arma, who was installed as the new primate of the Anglican Church of South Sudan in April, saying it's a sign that the country is loved by the spiritual fathers.
Oh, that was a wonderful time for us because it shows all the way that they are concerning about Congo. So praying together all over the world for the country like Congo, that was helpful for us. It was a kind of relief for the suffering we are going through 20 years ago. So we thank all over the world. The Christian was praying for Congo. We are experiencing the hand of God. There is a response because the Kasai crisis now is down, and also the crisis in Eastern Congo is trying to be sorted out. So slowly we are moving to the peace process.
Yeah, I was extremely happy about that because that is a demonstration that we are not forgotten. We are loved by our spiritual fathers, both in Vatican and in Canterbury. So for me in particular, I'm glad about what the Pope did.
And now to sports. The federal government has increased the Super Eagles winning bonus by $5,000 as a means of motivating them to win their remaining 2 group matches at the ongoing FIFA World Cup in Russia. With this increase, each player will now get $15,000 winning bonus per game against initial $10,000 per game agreed with the players before the tournament kicked off in Russia on Thursday. The federal government equally called on Nigerians to still queue behind the team, despite losing 2-0 to Croatia in their opening game.
Rebic making progress. Perisic! And unfortunately, from his perspective, not quite the accuracy. How far away was it? Not that far. Plenty of fun and games towards the back post. Rebic got the flick, it's in! Kramaric takes the credit! A flying header from Mandzukic, diverted in. Rakitic. Oh, and Kramaric's header. Beautifully whipped in by the fluorescent footwear of Rakitic. And the header over the top. Etebo. Beautiful driven pass here for Moses. Promise for Nigeria. Trying to get away from Ndidi. Ekong was in the way, but that's a good ball by Rakitic for Perisic. Beautiful cross! Oh, and Rebic can't take the chance. It was great football. Terrific first-time pass by Rakitic. And Perisic's cross was on the money. Dragic's corner. Balogun got something on it. Well, has he given a penalty? He has. Well, he's got his arm round him there. He's got his arm round the front as well. Modric surely seals it for Croatia. And that is the insurance goal that they wanted.
The Super Eagles will play Iceland on June 22nd before playing Argentina in their last group game on June 26th. Solomon Dalong, Minister of Youth and Sports, who made this known while appealing for calm, however, regretted the loss, but assured that all hope was not lost yet. So that's it on this edition of the News on the Hour. I want to thank you for watching. I am Zubechi Frank.